Anna May Mangan, what's your view? Should smacking be illegal?
It certainly should be illegal. It's brutalising little children. In a couple, a husband wouldn't get away with whacking his wife or vice versa. So why would you do it to the smallest and most vulnerable person in your family? It doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm not suggesting a van goes out and rounds everybody up who has been described as smacking their children. I think what this law does is it makes a change, like a cultural change. It's the start of a change. Often it takes a generation for this to come about. I mean, if you think about seatbelts, very few people don't put their seatbelts out. We don't send children up chimneys anymore. Yeah, we move on and we learn. And the whole point of discipline is to change a child's behaviour. So what are you teaching them by smacking them? You're only encouraging them to smack their siblings or to smack the child sat next to them in class. It's old-fashioned, it's outdated, and I think people recognise it as a form of what? It's violence. Yeah, it's violence.
Dr. Bernard Gallagher, you are an independent child protection researcher. What's your view? Does this law do more harm than good, as suggested by Tam Laird?
I don't think it will do any harm. I agree with Anna May that it is wrong to smack children. They're the only group in society that in England we're currently allowed to smack. We're not allowed to smack our partners. We're not allowed to smack our colleagues. So why are we allowed to smack children? The other point I'd like to make is that basically parents aren't going to get prosecuted for smacking their parents. I can understand that people are fearful of that, but that isn't going to happen in the vast majority of cases. What it's important to bear in mind here about this legislation in Wales, and Scotland has it already, and I believe 62 other countries have it, it's symbolic. It's trying to discourage violence in the home. Now, I'm not saying, I make it crystal clear, I think any smacking of any child is wrong, but, that's not as serious as some of the abuse cases I've spent my career studying, and some of us will remember the case of Arthur Lavinia Hughes and Star Hobson's two young children that were murdered by their parents, and the parents were convicted fairly recently. Now, what I'm trying to say is that this law has a symbolic value to discourage violence in the home in general, and that will actually save some serious abuse cases because it's sending out a general message that violence is wrong. And I think all of us would want to agree with that message, that violence is wrong in whatever form. Let's try and do as much as we can to discourage it. Let's have a change of attitude, because for too long, too many societies have been wedded, almost obsessed with the idea that they should have this right to smack children. They don't need that. There's smacking isn't effective anyway, and there's far more effective ways of caring for your children.